We ready to roll, Don?
You are.
All righty, and we can bring Tony in whenever he shows up. All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday, May 12th, 2021 meeting of the East Long Meadow Conservation Commission. At this time, I need to ask if anybody in the audience is recording this meeting. If so, raise your hand and identify yourself. I see we have 5 attendees tonight.
I don't see, Tony's not one of them yet.
Okay, but nobody's saying that they are recording, so I guess
Nobody's
we're good to
recording,
go.
no. Nope.
No, I'm not.
All righty, first item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of April 14th that we didn't get to at the last meeting. I had been through these. I didn't really have any issues with them. Did anybody have any changes or anything to make?
Well, they look pretty good.
I'll entertain a motion for approval of the April 14th, 2021 conservation minutes.
So moved.
Seconded.
All righty, motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll have the roll call vote. Elizabeth?
I wasn't here.
14th, I think you were.
Oh, then yes, sorry.
Okay, yep. Francis?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
Tom, you were absent. Will?
Yes.
And I am a yes vote also. Okay. Next item on the agenda is the notice of intent for 86 Somersville Road for the construction of a single-family dwelling. Jeff, if you could read this into the record, please.
This is a continued hearing, Craig. It was already read into the record.
Oh, we opened it before the last meeting. That's right.
Yes, this is a continued.
Yep, sorry about that. Thank you.
Yeah, it's DEP file number 150-0456.
All righty. I believe I saw the applicant. Yes, Neil Jackson is in the audience if he would like to speak.
He's on mute.
If you could, there you go.
No,
No.
he's on mute again.
Back on mute. We did do a site visit out there prior to the last meeting. And the markers and everything were in place from what we saw mostly. Are you there, Neil?
Yeah, I think I'm here now. Sorry.
Okay, you're here.
Okay, yeah, I'm here representing Brianna Barcom for 86 Somersville Road. My dogs are coming in, sorry. So I think the issues were staking out the 50-foot wetland buffer, which has been done, adding the lolly columns every 25 feet along the permanent do not disturb area, again along the 50-foot offset. We are asking permission to go in there and temporarily work just to remove any of the RAS building that remains in that area. With your permission, of course. If not, we can certainly leave it there. I think the colors of the markers have been clarified now. And I will use the blue and white stripe marker for the wetlands instead of just the typical solid blue. And other than that, I think that covered everything. Also, we submitted a bigger plan, which I think Jeff had asked for a bigger plan, so.
Right, that has a better delineation that we can see the.
Yeah, no, I agree. Oh, I definitely agree with you.
I guess at this time, I would like to open it up to the public and ask if there's anybody in the public that would like to comment on this. If so, please raise your hand.
I don't see anybody.
All righty. I guess we can leave it open for a little bit more comments from the commissioners regarding the site visit.
Well, I think with the last site visit, we did see that the flagging was done for the 50-foot limit of work line. And we had a clarification of what the white and blue flags represented, because we had never seen that before. And I had actually met Mike out there on the site. I just happened to run into him one day when I was out by there, and he clarified some of the where the wetland delineations were in the property line. So get a better feel for that. And basically, I think it's a good thing to let you go temporarily in there to clean up the remains of that old barn and the debris that they left there, which I thought they were going to take all that out when they cleaned up the old barn and house, but apparently not. Guess it wasn't valuable to them.
Exactly.
And I would agree that it's a good thing to go in there and clean that up, and we can put something to that effect in our order of conditions on this. The only other thing that I thought I kind of observed there was the, I'm gonna say the northeast corner of the house. If you looked at the drawing and scale it, it's showing it about 20 feet or so away from the 50-foot limit of work line. From what we saw with the stakes in the ground that we believed were the corner of the house, it was much closer to 8 to 10 feet away. But that's something, you know, I don't have an issue with if you're moving it a little closer. And I did agree with the delineation of the wetland and the showing of the 50-foot limit of work line. Any other comments from the commission?
Are those stakes 10-foot offsets for the foundation? Is that why it would appear to be 10 feet closer than it's supposed to be?
Well, right now it's 20 feet off the wetland, off the permanent markers. That's about the minimum amount of space you need to be able to get a machine around there to backfill. And, you know, 10 feet, then you're trying to go back around, and you know that's not going to happen. So that's about
what I meant was, if this Craig is saying that the stake appears to be 10 feet closer to the wetlands than the house corner, but usually when a house is staked out for the excavator to come in and dig foundation, they do the stakes as the corner, so that way when the excavator digs, the stakes are still behind. I was just asking if that's why we're 10 feet from the border instead of 20.
No, that was staked out. That was staked out originally by the owners. We're not going to go that close. Again, you can't work around the house if you're that close. So I think that was just kind of, they put them just to give me a sense of where they wanted it. So I did move it 10 feet further away just so they could work around it and not disturb that area.
Are the white stakes the ones that the homeowner put in?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's why it appears closer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Neil. Yeah.
No, you're welcome. Thank you.
Any other comments from the commission? No? Okay. I guess I'll ask one more time if there's any comments from the public before we close the public hearing.
Nope. None here.
Okay. All righty, hearing none, I will entertain a motion to close the public hearing for 86 Somersville Road.
Oh, Craig?
Yes.
Oh, no, he went away. Maybe that's the next one. A hand went up, but then it went away right away. So
Okay.
I move we close the public hearing.
Is there a second?
Second.
All righty. Roll call vote to close the public hearing. Jeff? Francis?
Yes.
Will?
Yes.
Tom?
Aye.
Elizabeth?
Yes.
And I am a yes vote also. Okay, now bring it back to the commission one more time to discuss it. Does anybody else have any further comments or any issues with this?
Mm-mm.
Nope. All right, hearing none, I'll enter.
Sorry, I have one question.
Sure.
Did you see markers that were at the proper place other than the white ones that you were talking about?
Yes,
Okay, good. That was my question. Thank you.
Yeah, it was much different than when you were there the last time, Francis.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the commission? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the notice of intent for 86 Somersville Road.
so moved.
Sorry.
We have a second?
I'll second. Francis made the motion.
All right, motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll move to the roll call vote again. Jeff?
Aye.
Francis?
Yes.
Will?
Yes.
Tom?
Aye.
Elizabeth?
Aye.
And I will be a yes vote also. All right, good luck with the project, Neil.
Great, thank you very much. Appreciate all your help.
All right,
You're welcome.
thank you.
Have a great night. Thank
You too.
All righty, the next item on our agenda is the request for determination of applicability for 117 Nottingham Drive to put a fence up around the in-ground pool. There was some emails that came out earlier this week that the applicant might have started. I know when we did a site visit there last weekend, I think it was, it appeared that the material for the deck and the fence was all there. But if the applicant wishes to raise his hand, we can bring him into the meeting.
Tim Goodell's on the
Are you
line from
doing-
Giuliano's.
Are you doing Nottingham or Old Farm? You're mixing them
Oh,
up.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Nottingham was the pool. I'm sorry. Nottingham was the pool.
Yep.
Tim Goodell's on the line from Giuliano's.
Okay.
So I'm representing the project at 117 Nottingham. It's on behalf of the Skillens. This is the construction of an 18 by 36 in-ground pool. It will have a 4-foot safety fence and patio surrounding the perimeter of the pool. The area of disturbance will be approximately 15 to 20 feet around the perimeter of the pool. The pool is going to be located plus or minus 80 feet off of the wetlands, which were just recently delineated. No disturbance will be inside the wetlands themselves. The area of the future pool is going to be an all maintained lawn. It's all maintained property, all maintained lawn today. In addition, I think the committee also received a narrative from myself, just several points there. There will be a silt fence, hay bales, and any additional measures that this committee deems necessary. There is, where the pool is located is really fairly level. There is a drop off 20 to 30 feet away from the pool down towards the wetlands. So again, the silt fence, hay bales, et cetera, any other measures that the committee feels is appropriate. There is no stockpiling with Giuliano's. When we dig, anything that we pull out of the ground would be removed. And also we do use in the 4 wetlands. When wetlands are in consideration, we do use cartridge filters, and they are, we're able to remove those. We're able to wash them out, hose them down at any location that we choose. So there's no impact to the wetlands themselves. Overall, there is no discharge to the wetlands. When we drain the pool, for example, or excuse me, when we lower the pool at the time of closing, that discharge can be trucked off, so it would not be sent into the wetlands. With that, I would open it up to questions.
We did do a site visit out at this facility prior to our last meeting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Questions or comments from the commission?
I would just like to point out the comments that were received today from Mark Stinson. I don't know if everybody's had a chance to read those or not. Apparently this, when these houses were built, this whole, there should have been new NOI filings, which apparently fell through the cracks. The only comment I'd like to make is that kind of what Mark pointed out is that some permanent limit of work line markers be installed as part of the conditions. I would say probably along the line between the grass area and the wooded area, just so that there's no further encroachment into the wetlands. And also maybe some deed restriction for future homeowners that may purchase this property, so that there is something on record that shows a permanent limit of work line, and that no work will be done beyond that.
Very good.
Any other comments from the commission? Yeah, I remember we were looking at it out there, and we did express the concern if there was a certificate of compliance done for this, but there definitely should have been a notice of intent for this property, you know, and to address one of Mark Stinson's concerns, that if the bordering vegetated wetland has been altered, in my opinion, it hadn't been. It appeared for the most part they were somewhere around 25 to 40, 50 feet away. Did Francis or Elizabeth and Jeff, you kind of agree with that? Because you guys were there too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It's a ways away. That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. And frankly, I haven't done this before, put you know, a deed restriction notation on a request for determination of applicability.
I don't know what the precedent for that is, but I'm just throwing that out there as a recommendation, because in the future, if this house is sold and somebody decides to, you know, backfill in there and they want to extend their backyard or whatever, then there's nothing anywhere on record that prevents them from doing that.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I didn't see how that was specifically addressed in Mark Stinson's email. Do you have any idea on that, Bethany?
Well, it is technically all on the registry of deeds, whether or not the homeowner or new homeowner or a real estate agent would find that is the question. But the way we found out about it was going through the registry of deeds and reading the deed restrictions for. Go ahead, Jeff.
There is a restriction already?
Well, one of the special conditions for the order of conditions for the whole subdivision says that Lot B, which makes up 1117 is part of that Lot B. That was originally just one piece of land and they split it into 3 lots. So in the special conditions for the entire subdivision, it says that Lot B needs a separate NOI and it's not covered under that order of conditions.
Yeah, therefore, there is no deed restriction.
I can check and see if it's on the deed for 1117, but I'm not sure. I don't think it's easy to find, but it's there, but I don't know if it's easy to find.
I was gonna say, if there wasn't a notice of intent filed, I'm
Intent,
not sure how it could be there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because that wasn't part of the other development.
Hmm.
By simply by stating that Lot B would have to file a separate NOI. Obviously, there was never a separate NOI filed, so I don't see how there would be any kind of deed restriction on there.
Then I guess, what I'm looking at here is as painful as it would be. I mean, in order to comply with Mr. Mark Stinson's request, do we need to have an NOI filed to do this pool? Or can we get a deed restriction done on the NOI? I mean, on the RDA?
Can I comment, please?
Sure, Tom.
So the guy's putting in a pool, all right? Beautiful neighborhood. It's probably within the footprint of his grass, all right?
It is. It is.
So, right. So now here we are, 20 years later, maybe more. Guy's putting in a pool, and I don't think this is the format to place deed restrictions, first of all. Secondly, making him file an NOI at this point would be almost punitive. He's just trying to put a pool in his backyard. I know the neighborhood. I don't see them expanding into the wetlands without major flags being raised. This is one of those things you just let sleeping dogs lie. That's just my opinion, though.
No, I can't personally see us requiring an NOI. The only thing I was thinking is for down the road, for if the house is ever sold and future homeowners, that they know that they can't go beyond, the limited work line. But I don't know how we do that.
Right, because the request for determination doesn't get filed with the Registry of Deeds.
Right.
I mean,
I guess through the chair, one option might be an enforcement order with the resolution being a deed restriction, but I would check with Mark Stinson.
can
I have a moment too? I actually really agree with Tom on this, as to why we would be doing this to them if they're doing the pool within the footprint of an existing yard. I mean, I understand where you're coming from, but if triaxles or something to start falling into a neighborhood, someone's going to call. It kind of seems a little bit much to do it to these people now.
and I tend to agree with that. And we're just trying to discuss the topic of the deed restriction. I don't see in the email where Mark Stinson was addressing or brought up a deed restriction. But what he had the concern about was work being done there in the future. And I suppose I would tend to agree if somebody started going into the wetland there, maybe somebody would call, but maybe somebody wouldn't. So there's no guarantee to that. Any other comments from commissioners? Francis?
Yes, my question is, in the very beginning, when the NOI should have been filed, who should have filed it? Because my concern goes along with Tom and Willie. I don't want to punish this particular homeowner for something that was not done previously. And I think Bethany mentioned that it would have been for a lot B, which this property that we're looking at now is only one part of. So how should it have been filed in the beginning? Can we look back at that to know what to
Well,
do going forward?
Francis, it would have been the developer, whoever
Oh.
bought that property and decided to develop it. And that would have been
Oh.
in the early 2000s.
Okay, so now it's divided. It's divided into separate lots and separate homeowners.
Yep.
And what can we do? Other than, I mean, I agree that we don't want to punish an individual homeowner who wants to build a pool properly, but maybe that's something we can talk about, you know, I don't know, now or when.
Another solution could be just to put this documentation that we found from the registry and mail it out to those 3 homeowners just for their information moving forward. If they do have any work that they'd like to do on their property that might be within the wetlands.
And essentially what we have here, Francis, I'm gonna say there's 2, probably 3 individual lots here that should have had a notice of intent filed for them.
Right.
And none of them had it done.
Right. So is it going to make it right to require it now? Or is there something else we can do?
Well, I'm not proposing to make them file a notice of intent. I think that would be totally unfair to the current homeowners. But the only thing I'm just throwing it out on the table for discussion would be, you know, the possibility of putting for any, you know, at some point these houses are probably going to be sold, and then the new owners they're going to be clueless, you know, of anything back there. But at the least, I think we should at least have permanent limit of work markers put in along the end of the grass line at the beginning of the wooded area, just so it would make somebody aware that there's something there.
Yeah, I support that idea.
Tim,
And Jeffrey, is that the homeowner's responsibility to take care of those markers?
Yes.
Okay.
do you think
And
they would
who-
object to that, Tim?
I don't. My question would be, who notifies them of that need? Is it this committee? Is it Bethany? Is it that yourself, or who notifies them of that need?
I would say we can put that in a condition in the
Yeah.
determination.
Yep. That would make sense. No, I don't think they would have an issue with that. I don't think that's a great deal to ask. And I think what that also, as opposed to a deed restriction or a deed comment, whatever that means, I think we're really concerned about future considerations for the wetlands for a future homeowner being aware of.
Yeah.
And that delineation, I think, would hit the mark.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or from the commission?
Craig, would asking them to do that change their scheduling at all? Or is it just part of, if we approved, we would just make that a condition of the approval?
Yes, there is a spot in determinations that says subject to the following conditions, if any. And so we could just add it right in there.
Okay.
It basically wouldn't delay them any further.
Got it.
Right. So that would be done as 2 distinct tracks done simultaneously. So the pool construction and the delineation at the same time. Very good.
Yeah.
I mean, and I guess if we're talking about it, we can just go a little farther on the markers. And Tony and Elizabeth and Jeff and I were there. You know, what do you guys think would be good for that? A couple feet away from the grass? Into the woods for the line for the markers?
I would think that would be sufficient. Maybe just be, a couple feet beyond the edge of the grass line.
Slightly down the slope or right on the crest of that slope?
I would say right on the crest, follows kind of along there. There's pretty distinct break between where the lawn ends and the
That's
the
right.
wetland area, and, you know, just maybe a couple feet into that rougher area, so it's not disturbing their lawn area.
And also, so it's reasonably visible.
Yeah.
Yep. And what would those markers look like? Just this is more an education for me. What type of markers are we talking about?
Well, they're usually lolly columns that stick up about 6
Yeah.
inches above the ground, painted white or whatever, just so that they're easily visible.
That's what I assumed.
And spaced about 25 feet apart or so. So we're probably looking at 4 or 5 there, maybe.
Craig, if
Very
I
good.
may, if I may.
Yes, Tom?
All right, so permit limit of work markers are generally done by a surveyor, professionally placed and mapped. All right. I think that marginally we're overstepping our bounds. I'm strongly against it. As I said before, I say just let them put their pool in, keep their yard where it is. And if you want to go to the extent of listing that as a special condition, then my personal opinion is you have to go notice of intent and have it done properly, which again is punitive in my opinion.
Can I talk for a second?
Please do, Will.
The reason I agree with Tom is this yard has been existing for how long? 20 years, and they're asking to do something within their own yard. They're following the proper protocol. And now we're deciding that these people should have to go a step further so they don't ever extend their yard, a yard that hasn't been extended in 20 years. I agree with Tom that I just think this is a bit much.
But what we need to be concerned about is the future homeowner. And, you know, I'm not sure if you had a chance to review it, but this is one of the things that Mark Stinson recommended that we have them do.
I did read it, Mark. Mark, I'm sorry. I did review it, Craig, and I understand that he suggested that. I was just putting in what I personally think. I mean,
Okay.
every person's property that is adjacent to wetlands in the entire town of East Long Meadow could now fall into this same thing. So we're just going to start making town people do things just in case. I mean, I understand sometimes, but I just, if they're 80 plus feet from the wetlands now,
To the chair.
You kind of broke up there at the end, Tom, but go ahead, Francis. I mean, Will, but go ahead, Francis.
There's some comments and questions and answers.
that wasn't that what it was, around 80 feet. I just understand why we would go disturb closer if we didn't have to.
Excuse me. There's some comments and Q&A from the homeowner. I think we should look at those.
Mhm.
Can you, I don't know if she should come into the meeting to talk to us, because they're pretty serious comments that we should look at. Can
I
you
could
see
just-
those, Bethany?
Yep.
Homeowner, why is the builder responsible for putting in the markers? We were not the original homeowner. We bought the home in 2011. If there is an expense to this, then the builder should be responsible, correct? Carmine Capital was the builder. There definitely is an expense to it. I'm not exactly sure on the cost of it, but I would probably say they are north of $50, $60 a piece. Will probably has a better idea on that than anybody else on the commission, I would say.
Yeah, you're about right, Craig.
Okay, thank you.
But to me, the real question, and I'll say that again, is who's responsible to do this that should have been done before? And I kind of agree, it's not the current homeowner who's responsible. if the builder was neglectful, then it's the builder's job to make it right, not just for one house, but for the whole lot, right? I mean, I'm questioning. I don't know what the rules are for something like this.
This would be my understanding. It's similar to if there was a certificate of compliance that was never filed and a house changed ownership, or if there was an enforcement order that hadn't been complied with and a house changed ownership, the new homeowner owns it, and unless I am mistaken. But I think that's, that's the way it is. And it's even like with a house that is grandfathered and built before the Wetlands Protection Act. And let's say the house burnt to the ground. Essentially, the only thing that would be grandfathered would be rebuilding the house on the same footprint in the same location. What wouldn't be grandfathered is if their previous limit of work line was 5 feet away from the wetland. That would not be grandfathered. That would have to be in compliance, or it would be a judgment issued by the commission. So, and I understand, and I'm going to say the fault here would lie with this builder from 2011, but he no longer has any ownership or any interest in this. It wouldn't be the position of the commission to pursue legal action against them. It would be more, up to, the individual homeowners there.
Thank you.
Jeff, would you agree with that?
Yes, basically, that's the way the law reads. And as we found out when we did 53 Old Farm, unfortunately, if the previous homeowner doesn't do what they're supposed to and the property changes hands, then unfortunately, it falls onto the new homeowner.
I have a question. Is it required of the commission to make them put those markers in, or is this something that we could just approve their want to put the pool in and not require it because it's not required by, our law, it's just a suggestion?
It is definitely not a requirement. It was a suggestion from Mark Stinson, and I guess I'll read it in here. You might want to look at the edge of the lawn to see if you think appropriate to require permanent markers out there to denote a no expansion line or something like that. The commission would have likely approved those houses if no bordering vegetated wetland alteration. So what the commission would have required had it come up before, which is pretty much what we're talking about, where we're considering, the option of having these markers put in. It would be where it was done before. Because like I said, and I know we don't want to be difficult with the homeowners and that sort of thing, but we need to think about the wetlands in the future.
Craig, can I make a motion?
You certainly can.
I make a motion, we approve the RDA as it stands with no comments.
What determination on the RDA?
Positive one. That they're able to put the pool in.
Well, the positive determination would be saying that they can't put the pool in. There's a negative 1, 2, 3, or 4 determination.
The one with no comments, Craig. I don't have the form in front of me.
It's definitely not a -1 where it says the area described in the request is not an area subject to protection. A -2 would be the work that's described in the request is an area subject to protection under the act, but will not remove, fill, dredge, or alter that area. Therefore, said work does not requiring notice of intent. A -3 determination. The work described in the request is within the buffer zone as defined in the regulations, but will not alter an area subject to protection under the Act. Therefore, said work does not require the filing of a notice of intent, subject to the following conditions. And
Or a -2. I make a motion for a -2 determination.
there is a motion made for a -2 determination, which states that the work described in the request is within an area subject to the protection of under the Act, but will not fill, remove, dredge, or alter that area. Therefore, said work does not require the filing of a notice of intent.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded. Is there any comments?
Yeah, I do. Craig,
Oh, hello, Tony.
I'm sorry I got here late. What are we talking about? 117 Nottingham?
Yes.
I thought that, when we went up there, I thought that was all set
Oh, my God.
with the pool.
Well, there's a lot involved, Tony, and I guess you didn't get the emails from Mark Stinson today. We've been discussing putting in permanent limit of work markers there. That was a suggestion from Mr. Stinson.
Can't the guy who was putting the pool in put the markers in?
The homeowner has sent in some comments asking why they would need to put them in and not a previous homeowner. Giuliano could put them in, yes.
All right, well, I would make a motion, let him put the pool up with the understanding that Giuliani puts those markers in.
So then you are.
There's a motion on the floor.
So you're requesting an amendment to the motion, Tony?
Yeah, that Giuliani,
Why would Giuliano's be responsible for putting the markers in that were the responsibility of the builder back in 2011?
I understand. Wait a minute.
I'm not sure I can agree with that.
Hold on.
Tony, if
I understand. All right,
Tony.
listen. I
Tony,
understand what Will's saying.
Tony,
Yes, I'm here. Can I finish?
you need to stop for a minute. That amendment cannot be made because there's an amendment on the floor for a -2 determination, which does not have any comments attached to it. It's take it or leave it as number 2. Did you hear me read it? Would you like me to read it again?
No, I heard you the first time. I'm
Okay.
just saying.
So there's no room for comment. It's a yes or no.
All right.
If you don't want to agree with the number 2 and you would prefer a number 3 with a comment, then that can determine your vote.
All right. Can I just say one thing to Will's comment? I understand Will, and I agree with Will, but Giuliani's done this before for us, hasn't he?
Doesn't make any difference.
Not to my knowledge.
Would there be any further discussion on the motion that is on the floor? Hearing none, we will go to a vote. Tom,
Aye.
Tony,
Aye.
Will,
Aye.
Elizabeth,
Aye.
Jeffrey,
At this point, I'm going to say aye.
and I will be a yes vote also.
Francis,
Sorry, I wasn't called
Oh,
in.
Francis, I'm sorry I missed you. I apologize.
Yeah, I'm having problems deciding. I'll go along with aye.
All right, thank you. I apologize for that, Francis.
It's okay.
All righty. Good luck with the pool, Tim.
Thank you very much to the committee. Really appreciate your time.
All right, you're welcome.
Have a great evening. Good
All
night.
right, you too.
Aye.
Could
All
we,
righty.
excuse me, I have a suggestion. On a future agenda, could we put this kind of situation on the agenda to resolve what do we do in these kinds of problems? Because it was pretty obvious we didn't agree on the solution. And because we didn't have a chance to talk it through, I think maybe Bethany can do some research when we come across cases where there's no NOI and, you know, it gets complicated like this. You'll have something on file as to what to do in these type of cases.
You know, and absolutely we can. You know, and I will say that I'm guilty for not spending more time with this. You know, we've actually had the last meeting that got canceled because of the lack of a quorum. You know, we've had another 2 weeks to delve into this, and I haven't researched it more, but I will say, Francis, it never ceases to amaze me how often we enter into uncharted waters here on the commission, because I've never had a situation like this before. That was exactly like this. But yes, we can.
And I think what complicated it more was we didn't receive Mark Stinson's comments until today, which we didn't really have a chance to, you know, to review more depth.
But, you know, I definitely like the discussion, you know. It is good to hear different opinions on things. All righty. Moving forward, where are we now? Request for determination for 101 Old Farm Road for the construction of a fence by the pool. Where I stated earlier, we went and did a site visit. There was material there for the fence and the pool. I believe most people would have seen copies of the emails where the homeowner was informed he could start the construction at his own risk if he wanted to. I believe Jeff went by a couple days ago, Jeff and Tony maybe, said it didn't look like anything started.
Yeah, we were there Monday around 1 o'clock and nothing had been started.
All righty. Is the homeowner here would like to comment?
On his way.
All righty.
Oh, hello?
Hi.
Hi, Joseph.
Joseph.
Yes, hi, I'm here. Sorry, I'm in the car. Yeah, we number one, we did away with the deck because it's not gonna work because of the setback limits. We're just gonna do the fence, and I sent an email. I guess you guys had some comments on soil erosion. So I sent an email on what we could do for soil erosion. And that's about it. I'm just waiting for the go from the commission.
Yep, and we did a site visit there a couple weeks ago. I believe it was Jeff, Elizabeth, Tony, and myself. It's okay on one side, kind of near the buffer zone, but this is a relatively minor undertaking for a project. Any comments from the commission?
I don't see any issue with what's proposed.
Yeah.
You all set, Elizabeth? Yeah.
Oh, yes, sorry. I said I have no issues.
Okay. You popped up like you were talking. That's all.
Got it.
How about you, Tony?
I'm all set. Let them go ahead.
Okay, Tom, Will, Francis? Yep.
I'm good, sir.
All righty. I'll entertain a motion to approve the request for determination for 101 Old Farm Road for the construction of a fence.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any further discussion?
Would that be a -2 determination?
Correct. Thank you, Jeff. Yes.
we should include that in the motion.
That it is I'm sorry, for a -2 determination on that it's in the area but will not disturb anything. Sorry about that. Thank you, Jeff.
Yes.
All righty, motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none. Roll call vote. Elizabeth,
Yes.
Tom,
Aye.
Tony,
Aye.
Will,
Yes.
Francis,
Yes.
Jeff,
Aye.
and I am a yes vote also. Good luck, Joseph.
All right, thank you very much.
You're
Okay.
welcome. Hey, everything looked good out there too. The trees look great.
Ah, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. But yeah, that is just an update for people that weren't there. There was some trees planted out there last year as a part of the restoration, and everything looked real good out there. The trees are doing very well. All righty. Next was project monitoring. We had Brownstone Gardens. I don't know that we got a date or anything back on them yet, did we? I think they're still in the contractor search mode.
No, there was an email that they found somebody. Let me see if I can find
Yeah,
it.
they did. Saturday, May 22nd. That's when they're hopefully starting.
Thank you. I must have missed that one.
That was an email from May 10th, Monday.
Okay. It'd be an interesting one to see if anybody wants to go look at that, if they're around on the weekend. So yeah, if we could just get a confirmation from him before that, that would be neat. But well, Francis will still be here, right? So you'll let us know.
Yeah, I will be around, but I have to recuse myself, so it would be good if another member came.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Purvis Street, I sent Bill LaPlante a text message the other day. He said he'd get back to me and check it out. I haven't heard back yet, but I'm not too concerned about that. I'm sure he'll take care of it. That was just a small portion of the silt fence. 21 Main Street, North Main Street, excuse me, the Rockies Hardware and the retention basin. I know the new letter did go out. Did we receive any response yet? So I guess we'll just let that wait a little bit longer and see if anything happens. Hidden Ponds Estates. We did send some more pictures in from being out there. And those were just to kind of confirm that the basin is definitely functioning dramatically different now than it was before, since that cap has been installed. There hasn't been any water discharging out of it. There's been quite a bit of water in it. And essentially there's still a pretty fair amount of red clay going into the basin. And we're kind of in a wait and hear pattern from our Levesque going out there and proceeding further with it. The next one that I had was for Robin Street, Ralph Capua. Did we send that second one out, Rebecca?
I sent out the letters and I haven't gotten any response yet, no.
So the second one went also?
Yeah, it was just a enclosing of the first.
Right.
Did we follow up with that sign, because Ralph also owns 108 Old Farm Road? The DEP sign is no longer legible, and you can't even see the silt fence anymore.
Okay. I can do a third and include all of them, and maybe we can send it certified with a return receipt to see if we get a response.
Did I forward you that picture of the sign at 108?
I think you might have sent it to me, Jeff, and maybe
Oh,
I
I
need to
did.
send it
I
on to
thought I
Rebecca.
sent it. I thought I sent it. I mean, I literally had to get out of the car and walk up to within 3 feet of it to even see it.
Wow, okay.
It definitely needs to be a separate letter. We don't
Oh,
want
I
to,
received it. Yeah, I have it, Jeff. I'm sorry
Oh, okay.
about that.
Yeah.
but yeah, we don't want to combine the two properties, that's all. Okay.
Hey, Craig,
Yes, Tony?
going back to 21 North Main Street, how much time are we going to give this guy? It's been like 2 months now. He hasn't responded to any of his letters. And I think it's a much more serious problem than, you know, some of our other monitoring projects. It seems like we're being very lenient with them, with that basin full of grease.
We're
There-
waiting on the Board of Health had issued a corrective action date, and the intention is that we will issue an enforcement order if they don't remedy the situation by the correction date. I believe it's sometime in the next week or so. And I will follow up, and Bethany, I will follow up with the Board of Health to confirm if they've received a response by that date, and if they haven't, then we can put it as an agenda item for an enforcement order.
I think it's for May 21st or something like that. I think it was the
Yeah.
time frame.
I think so, yeah.
Next week, yep.
Okay, very good.
Anybody else have anything under project monitoring?
I have one thing. I heard back from Jeff and Craig about availability for the site visit at Baldwin Street for the silt fence location. If I could just get a few other people to let me know so we can get that scheduled maybe for later this week or next week, that'd be great. Thank you.
I can do any day later this week. Saturday, my daughter has her first communion, so I can't do Saturday, but I can do any other day.
Okay. I think, Craig, you had said Thursday, maybe Thursday evening.
Yeah, I put Thursday, Friday down because I know that wasn't a one-day project to install the silt fence
Right,
there.
right.
So, you know, I wasn't exactly sure when they would be completing it.
I can reach out to Jim Blank tomorrow and see the status, and I'll send out another email.
I can do any day but Thursday, Rebecca, so.
Okay, thank you.
You'll send the email out to all of us, Rebecca?
Yes, I will.
Okay, good.
But on that one, and thank you for bringing that up, Rebecca, I will interject. While they're putting the silt fence in, if anybody wants to go do a drive-by and get out and take a look around, please feel free to. You know, we can definitely go there and look at it while this is being done, because this was a project that there was definitely some clearing involved in order for them to be able to get in there and install the silt fence.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a wide open area to walk into. Jeff?
Yeah, for sure. Very heavily wooded.
Yep. But so yeah, if anybody wants to go and just to make some observations and send them in to Rebecca and Bethany, that'd be great. Anything else under project monitoring?
I just want to bring up on the enforcement order log. The 2 years is up this month on 53 Tanglewood, which is that restoration project by Adriano Bocino. The wetlands out there on 53 Tanglewood.
Yeah, we definitely need to
Parker.
schedule a site visit because this was the second year of monitoring the growth of the trees out there.
Correct. So we need to schedule that sometime in the very near future.
Okay. We could try and combine that with a Baldwin thing too, while we got a little more time and it's light out during the, you know, later during the day. Okay, so I guess we'll leave that one out there, but yeah, we can definitely go. When, do you know when that 2 years is up, Jeff?
Let's see, the final approved restoration plan was May 8th, 2019. So basically a week ago.
Okay. So then, yeah, we should definitely get out there before the next meeting.
Yeah,
All right, so we'll see how things go in Baldwin, but then we'll just give it a couple days and then we'll be in touch to let Adriano, we need to come out and look at them again.
yeah.
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
Craig, I have a quick update not necessarily on a site visit, but just some information for the commission. We were contacted by the Native Plant Trust a week or so ago. They were requesting permission from the town manager to survey the blunt-lobed grape fern on the Pine Quarry Conservation Area, and they also are looking at lily-leaved wide-lipped orchids as well. So just an update, if you happen to see people walking around Pine Quarry, that's what they're doing there.
Yeah, they've done that one a couple times. Gone out and looked for those. Mm-hmm. All righty, moving forward. Other business. Conservation agent job description.
So Rebecca had sent out a couple examples as well as the description that Craig had put together and the description of the duties that are covered under the Wetlands Protection Act fund from the handbook. So I'm curious if anybody's had a chance to look through those and if you have any thoughts or questions on it.
I've read through some of them, but I really haven't had a chance. I've had a bunch of other things on my plate to try to formulate, some idea of what the way it should read. I know some of these the towns are looking for well, they're putting them on as a salaried benefit employee type thing, where obviously we're not doing that.
Correct, yep. Would
But
it
some
be
of the
easier if I came up with a list of questions and then sent that out and people could just type back their responses as far as number of hours to work a week, how much to pay per hour, that kind of question?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a thought in my head about what I feel, but yeah, it would be kind of good to get what everybody else's feelings are on those type of things.
Okay, I'll send out an email tomorrow with just a couple of questions, just to get a basic idea of what everyone is thinking, so we're all on the same page, and I can share that at the next meeting.
Okay.
I would just think, let's just do a draft, get it good, done, and send it, and let's start looking. We're just talking tonight about monitoring 7 or 8 projects, and we could be doing a lot more.
Okay, I guess the other option is I could draft up 2 or 3 different job descriptions and send them off to you all, and feel free to write on them any comments you might have, and then we'll pick one of 3 at the next meeting.
I think that'd be great.
Okay,
Cool.
works for me.
Well, in the other stuff, when do we get some money from the grant, Bethany?
Oh, the National Park grant?
Yeah.
That's so that's technical assistance. We don't get any money for that. We get their time and their knowledge, and
okay.
that's our thing. So they will be out in the community on Monday afternoon, just to walk some of the trails and get a feel for what our community looks like and what we have going on so far. We also are in conversation starting next week, or maybe the week after, about extending the rail trail. So all of it is in the works, some pretty big projects. So I'm sure you'll hear more of it as we move forward.
Where else besides the rail trail are you going?
We haven't decided yet. It looks like we'll probably be headed towards Springfield.
Okay.
Are they going to be looking at the Brown Farm Trail at all, or?
The National Park Service, yes. So they're interested in the trails system rather than individual trails. So They'll be looking
Oh,
at all
okay.
of our trails and looking for points of connection as well.
Yeah, because
There,
that whole area
Right.
between Pease and Kibbe would be great to look at. I'm sorry, Will, didn't mean to cut you off.
just on that trail thing that you guys are talking about, they actually plan on going behind our office in Springfield and trying to connect it through behind Springfield College and all that and head towards East Long Meadow.
Yeah, I forget what it's called, the Highland Trail or something like that. They're just starting it on their end, so we're hoping that will be a good momentum for us to connect with them eventually, but it just makes sense seeing as they're already on their way over.
Okay.
Oh, and that assistance from the National Park Service, that's for at least 1 year and up to 3, depending on our project scope. So, and how much we get done in the first year.
Cool.
All righty, thank you. Nice job. Policies and procedures of the commission. Did anybody have any comments or anything? I just had a couple. That a couple people were sent to me. I guess they called into the office. You know, when we're given my number to call, I actually lost one of them. I talked with this one other guy that was trying to get something set up and get over there with a couple of commissioners. But moving forward, if we could get the information from these people and just send it out in an email to everybody, you know, just so I'm not the lone person getting a phone call, that would be great. And I don't know if that was one of you guys or somebody else in the town hall, but if we could mention that, that would be appreciated. Policies and procedures of the commission. Anybody have anything else?
I do have a really quick update. Let me just pull out my email so I get the dates right. We will be reopening the town hall on or about June 28th.
Woohoo!
So that's the big news. But we don't have a date yet for continuing open or continuing meetings like the Conservation Planning Board and the Zoning Board of Appeals in person yet. And the main issue is that for public hearings, we need to be able to allow as many people as want to show up in a building. So right now we still have some capacity issues for people indoors in our building. So we'll just keep meeting online for the time being, and I'll update you if I get any new information.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I did have the one other one from the last meeting that Tom, you still here? Yeah, I want to discuss with you, Tom, where, you know, you had some concerns about the handling of certificates of compliance that were older ones. And you made the comment that, you know, some people we give them a pass and other people we throw them under the bus. And I was kind of unclear of what you were speaking about. If you're there, Tom.
I may have been speaking out of frustration. I have no issues.
Okay. So then the same would apply to the picking and choosing of site visits comment?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you very much. If nobody has anything else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Motion's made and seconded.
Second.
You made the motion, Tony. I second it.
All right,
Raise your
did?
hand,
call
Tony.
vote. Elizabeth,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
Tony,
Yes.
Will,
Aye.
Francis,
Yes.
Jeffrey,
Hey,
and I am a yes vote also. Thank you all, and thank you, Rebecca and Bethany. And
Thank you.
too, Don.